Mobile first is not strategy anymore. This is fact.
We should use AI for more complex products. So we should calculate and adjust the product, customize the content, the communication with customers.
Hello.
Mobile only strategy is also about mobile only with human touch. Moving into using AI directly with the end user will take a bit more time in banking sector, the traditional banking sector, because mainly of the regulation, not because any technical concerns that we have.
Hello, this is Krzysztof Grzywna from Andersen Lab. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Mobile, 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 as John Rockefeller once said. Did he really? I don't know, but for sure we will be telling this word quite a lot of times today because my guest is Ernest Lachowski, Head of Mobile at Millennium Bank. Welcome. Ernest, thank you so much for accepting Andersen's invitation. We are going to cover mainly mobile development and mobile applications in fintech financial sector today. But before we deep dive into it, I think that these days mobile applications become our common reality. We use them everywhere, not only for banking purposes. But as we are here to talk about fintech and mobile applications in financial sector, my question would be, how would you comment on the statement that mobile applications became sort of a part of brand awareness and maybe even a critical part of it for most of the banks? Would you say that UI UX of mobile applications these days more important than the quality of services banks provide?
99% of interactions between the bank and customers are now taking place in mobile application. So it means that every minute we have thousands of transactions. To be honest, more transfer will be done within next minute in mobile application than in the branches within next few days. So it means that the UX and your experience is crucial. Now, even all the application looks pretty much the same. At the beginning, you have the bottom bar with navigation, and then you go to the products. But on some level, customers understand and feel that one application is better than the other. And this is the small things that we do and what we provide that helps us to distinguish our application from the other one.
Okay. But for instance, if some other bank would to offer you very favorable terms and conditions, however, at the same time with the poor UI UX experience, what would be your stance on that? Like, would you agree for that?
No. And none of our customers would agree for that. Currently, most of customers are multi-bankers. So they have one of the banks is primary bank, the other is the second bank. They have banks for investments and for the other stuff. And they are challenging us, yes, because what you expect now is same experience in mobile application as you get in other applications. Now we are competing not with banking application. We are competing with music application, with streaming platforms. You are not. You don't want to wait 8 seconds for a movie or for your favorite soundtrack in the music application. So why would I expect you to wait for the financial services? We don't provide entertainment, so. For us, this is a huge challenge to attract you and to keep you in application. So what we can do, we can deliver the best experience and based on the product that we have. Yes, we have very good product, but we have to make it a part of the process. So the process is a key, yes?
Mm-hmm. So according to this one, what are the, so to say, bells and whistles of a winning mobile banking application?
I think that we have two. The first one is the adoption. So today it's not a challenge to implement something because the development, the release to the customer is like maybe 10 to 20% of the work we do. The huge work is being done on the design level, and it's very important to test, to think about everything, to test it with customers, yes, to prepare the best user flows and customer journeys that we provide. Then it's very important to think what to do to adopt those services in the app. Because currently the applications that we have here are not the simple financial applications. This is the application which is actually the bunch of application. It's dozens of services inside. So when you implement the new one, you have to do something to attract and to make proper adoption for the customers. The second thing is conversion. So when you are entering the process, the most important thing for me is for you to finish, because you found the service, you want to use it. So if there is anything or any reason because of what you cannot finish the process, this is a challenge and a question for us, what we have done wrong. There is something on the design process or the preparation that we've made. Maybe we have made some mistake, or maybe there is something to be improved for the customer. So these are two things that you have to monitor. And fortunately, in mobile sector, we have a lot of data that we can analyze, and we can track and think what we can do and what we can improve before customer says us what to do.
And also one of the ways to best possibly improve the quality of digital solution is via customer feedback. How does it look like in your organization and generally on the market? How do banks value the customers' feedback when it comes to mobile applications? How do they enable them to give the feedback? And then at the end of the day, how this feedback transforms to the better quality and better service provided?
If we need a feedback of customers to improve our application, it means that we failed on one of the levels of preparing our applications. Because what we do at the beginning, we know the journeys of the customers. We have a lot of data, so we can use this data to prepare the best solution on the market, or at least the best solution in our application, because we know the customers. We also should test, and we can test everything we want. Yes, this is just a matter of resources and of the good planning. Then we have implementation and adoption I've mentioned. So if we need a feedback from customers to improve something, it means that we failed on some level. Because currently we also have reports, and as soon as we implement new functionality, we can see from the data if there is something to improve. Because we can see the conversion, or where customer spends more time than we expected. So we should do it before customers tell us to do it.
It's time for a break. You are watching Andersen R&D channel, where we discuss technology and industry trends with leading experts. Our IT teams build solutions for finance, recruitment, and other sectors. We developed AI Recruiter, a platform that allows our clients to rapidly analyze candidates' applications, conduct automated interviews, evaluate technical skills and sentiments, generate personalized emails, and more. AI Recruiter helps companies cut costs and perform tasks twice as fast, improving the quality of work. Maximize the use of AI with Andersen. Now, let's get back to our interview.
You are an advocate of two main banking strategies. First one is mobile first, and the other one is mobile only. Is that right?
Yes.
So the first one refers to that mobile application should be sort of the first row, right? When we come back to the strategy battlefield, right? So the mobile banking is kind of the terrain that, you know, goes ahead and then goes, I don't know, desktop version, web platforms, and so on and so forth. Mobile only is when we have these days neobanks, and the mobile version of a banking app is the one and only version, right? So what's the main difference when it comes to the strategy and adoption of those two? And secondly, do you think that the web applications, web versions will be soon kind of the relic of the past when it comes to banking sector?
Okay, so first thing is that mobile first is not strategy anymore. This is fact. Mobile first, everything is mobile first. I think that now for almost 3 or 4 years, everything we do for mobile. So this is the main platform and our main focus while designing. And the second thing, the mobile only now, I think it changed a bit. A few years ago, I thought that we'll go to the direction where we don't need support of any humans in mobile application, because the experience and the time is so important that none of the customers would be interested to get any help. But I changed this mind a bit. Currently, customers want to get some help with more complex processes and services. So what they are raising now is that I can do majority of things by myself, but when I'm trying to get a mortgage or to understand the cash loan or the conditions, I would like to have an opportunity to get some help. And this is the direction that we would go. You mentioned the neobanks, and I spoke with one of the managers from neobank from Africa, and I was asking him, okay, you have great results, it's great that you build everything within the app, and now what's your next step? And he told me, you know, we have one issue now, because customers are asking us to get some human touch in this application for a few particular processes that we created. And we want to develop the application, we want to deliver new services and products. So now we are thinking how to build it because they expect that. It changed because new generation also appreciate if they have any access to the humans. So the mobile-only strategy is also about mobile only with human touch. And this is the application for the future.
And what do you mean by this human touch? Is like a second line of support that I can call or chat with or physically go to a branch?
It depends on you. Mm-hmm. You can use the chatbot, you can call, you can use tap to call. You can also ask somebody to call you to understand something. It depends on you and it depends on us. We adjust this to the need and to the complexity of the process. Because for the processes which are not so complex, maybe the chat is enough. You have to understand one or two conditions and this is okay. What is crucial here is that on the other side of this conversation, you need a partner and help who knows very good the product and who can help you 24/7.
Can you name top 3 trends that you can foresee developing in the next 5 years?
Okay, so first one is a super app I mentioned. The second one is personal advisory, but I mean the advanced one. So we have to help customer not only with finance but also with life. This is the second. And the third, I think we should use AI also for more complex products. So we should calculate and adjust the product, customize the content, the communication with customers.
Despite the great popularity of mobile applications across the globe these days, I would say, right? The rate of adoption is not everywhere the same. It varies across regions to regions, right? So on the example of Poland and also other European countries, how would you compare those two? What are the advantages and disadvantages in each country in terms of the rate of adoption? And also what are the areas to improve?
Okay, so you are completely right. So the adoption of mobile applications are completely different in different countries, especially in Europe. In Poland, we are quite advanced. So currently, I would say that we are very good in payments, very good in daily banking, and very good in value-added services. So we have public transport, parking tickets, e-government is very well done in Poland, and adoption is great and enormous comparing to the other countries. But of course, there is a lot to be done comparing to the other regions. For example, in Asia, they have super apps, and this is a very important trend. So they put almost everything to the mobile application, the banking mobile application. And what we are still missing is the building one infrastructure with all the public services. So this is the question if we will be able to do it in the future or not. And the second thing, which I miss on Polish market, are the investments and the service regarding investments. I can see that our peers from even neighbor countries have very good access and tools, and we, mainly because we have very extended regulations, we are not on this level. So this is also something that we can improve and that we can do in the future.
Let's jump to artificial intelligence, AI, quite a bit. How does the look of, the buzzword of AI look in mobile application development? Because of course we do have chatbots that helps us with, finishing the uncompleted issues or like some tasks or whatever. But are there any mobile app specifics in the banking sector that we can name when talking about artificial intelligence?
I think that from artificial intelligence and the perspective of banks, the first step and the main reason why we should use it and use it as soon as possible is to release some resources. And what I mean is to release the resources on designing, testing, development, and maintenance level. So it should help us to have resources for more sophisticated, more complex things that we should do. Currently, a lot of our work, it doesn't matter if it's in the office, the preparation, the design work, or the testing, or the contact center work, is very repetitive. So it's very good to use AI to help, and also to release the resources to help and to be able to use it in other way. And this is what is happening right now. The issue that we have is the regulation, because currently we cannot use the data we have in the open models, so we have to have our models internal one, and we can analyze the data only internally, so we need some time to train those models to use it very well. This is one thing. The second thing is that we need to have some extent of approval of the human. So the models need to be tested well to make sure that the model is adjusted and we can take benefit from implementing this in mobile application. And from this perspective, moving into using AI directly with the end user will take a bit more time in, I would say, banking sector, the traditional banking sector, because mainly of the regulation, not because of any technical concerns that we have. So, but on the other hand, I think this is the matter of months, not years.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have a short list of questions to wrap it up. So if you don't mind, I'll ask them now.
Okay.
So the first one, is it worth waiting for 2 weeks for a card to be delivered by mail, or when you can pay for the services directly?
I think it's worth to wait to have a plastic as an insurance policy when you are going abroad. So it's better to have than not to have a plastic one.
Okay, like we agreed. Do you still visit your bank from time to time or handle everything online?
I do visit because I want to understand what is missing for the mobile-only customers on one hand, and on the other hand, what I have to deliver to those who are not so early adopters of mobile application to start using the application. So this is the main reason I visit the branches.
All right. Speed of transactions or impressive range of features?
It is the question of a kind if I prefer to lose the left or right hand. So it's pointless to have a variety of features with very poor performance on one hand, and on the other, I think it doesn't matter if you have perfect performance with limited or few features in the application. So you have to have both hands.
Absolutely. And yeah, maybe quite the same one, but the chatbot or real human support service?
Depends on the service. If it's simple one, you can get the answer. You don't need to wait in a queue. With the complex one, you need human, and it's a huge value also for you to get.
Okay. Now, as a tricky one, have your clients ever stopped using your services because of some lag bug or, like, you know, in the maintenance services in a mobile application for several hours?
I think they did, but what we do now, we improve the communication, because the key here is to inform customers before that we have some works. And one interesting fact, when I started my work in Millennium 8 years ago, we could do such works between 1 a.m. and early morning hours on Saturday. And now the slot is between 3 a.m. and 4:30, because now it's 24/7 and people are using applications all the time. And the key and crucial job for us is to inform you that we'll have those works or the short breaks. And then your satisfaction, also the feedback we get, is very good.
Absolutely. And can you name one mobile app feature that does not exist yet, but is an absolute must-have in your opinion?
I think I have one. So I think that in the future we will need some kind of advisor with AI engine inside, which will help us not to manage the finance only, but also, for example, to help you to negotiate the prices of the things you buy. But what I mean is that currently we have separate issues. We have cashback, we have price comparison applications, and so on and so forth. But we should combine it everything, and I should be able to advise you, Krzysztof, you are buying new bike, maybe you should try the other shop because you can negotiate this price. And I would like to do it for you, to come with the price. So then it will be your first choice, and your journey with the e-commerce would start in the application. Currently, in many cases, you need an expert to advise you something particular for you. In the future, very near future, you would use AI and the model and an expert who approves the model and approves what we do with the model. And then we can use the model globally with customized advice for you. So this is the difference. We are not there yet, but we will be in the near future.
And how would ideally that look like? So, I mean, I'm a Millennium Bank's customer and I'm logging to my mobile application, and then what? It's like virtual assistant saying, hey, Krzysztof, we have a couple of advices to you. Maybe you would consider taking a loan, or maybe you can consider doing X, Y, Z. I don't know.
No, it should be even better. So you log in and I should advise you today and in this particular moment and particular place in the app, the particular service. So for example, I know that you get your money or your salary at 10th and it's 5, and I can see that
actually
you don't have
it is 10th.
So we know a lot, as I told you. We haven't checked that before, but it's good that we know. Majority of people get at 10th in Poland. And so I know that it's 5, and I can see that usually you do the shopping on 7th and you don't have enough money. So maybe you should start using the credit card because it's good tool for you, yes, good product. So it should be placed in the context of your personal situation. It's much better. Or, for example, you can look for particular product for cash loan, saving or something, and then I should advise maybe for you the deposit, the long-term deposit is better than the saving account, or the other way, because you need to be flexible with your money.
I presume that, you know, people in their 50s, 60s and above won't necessarily use, or like, you know, are less likely to use the mobile applications, right? So then in the front of the standpoint of one of the biggest banks in Poland, and generally what's the tendency, how to still keep those people and give them sort of like a chance option, you know, to be fully satisfied with their services without a need of going fully digital or mobile, because I presume that mobile only might be quite problematic here, right?
It might, but on the other hand, please remember, people who are now in their 60s are use smartphones for almost 20 years now. So the people in the 60s in 2024 are not the people in 60s in 2010, for example. So it changed a lot. The main problem with digitalization of people over 60s was that they were afraid of themselves. That what happened if I lose my phone? And my answer was quite simple. And what happened if you lose your wallet with your money and ID and your mobile phone? What is more dangerous from your finance perspective? With the mobile phone and your application, you have authorization tools, you have limit for transactions, you can also set some proxy to your account to get notified about transactions that are being done by you or some not authorized person. So it's much more secure. And the way and the path that customers, the elderly customers do with the digitalization usually starts with the simple operation. So they come to the branches, and the branches are crucial in this process, and they are checking the balance or doing the simple transfers. They are paying the bills or for electricity or something else. Then, when there is very hot summer and you are over 60 or 70, it's better to check the balance if you get your pension yet in the mobile app, because it's much more convenient. You don't have to go out if you don't want to. And this is the first step. Usually this is the first step. The second step is to add beneficiary, for example, to pay this bill, only to pay this bill with very small limit, like 200 zlotys. And this is the second step. And what happens then? Usually those people start looking for new services and they feel more and more secure. Of course, the support of branches, contact center, the help that you can get in other channels is crucial for those group. But I would say we shouldn't think about those people that they are not so keen to try new technologies.
Do banks provide sort of education, trainings, or like explain how to use mobile applications?
Yes, we do. What we started, we are also inviting customers to come to the branch, those who are not digitalized at all. So they have some appointment with the advisor they know, and then they can spend half of an hour, maybe an hour if they need, just starting. So this is what we do. And we invest this time also for them to help, because for majority of those customers, what they need support, and they need to make sure that what they do is secure for their money.
When designing a mobile application, and generally any other application, one must make sure that it also fits the needs of people with some sort of disabilities. How does it look like when it comes to banking applications?
So in Millennium Bank, we were one of the first banks who implemented the components supporting people with disabilities, and it was many years ago. Now it became kind of our routine. So we start with designing our components are adjust to the special needs of the customers. Then we have the proper testing, and what is very crucial here is also to ask for external audits. And there are many organizations who help us to understand and to check if the components we use are proper for each and every group with disabilities. We learn a lot using those components. It helps us also to improve the application for the average customer, because those special needs and also the visibility, the contrast and the other things can help us to improve the experience of all the other people.
Dive more into mobile applications. It also connects with the payments, isn't it, right? So still payments, some people prefer cash. Let's talk about money for a bit, right? What do you see or foresee will be the future of cash payments? Will we eventually get rid of cash at all?
For me, this is an issue if somebody asks me to pay in cash, and usually I'm trying to do something and to find some money in my car if it's about parking or something else. But seriously, I think it depends on the country and on where we are. I visited a few countries this year with completely different approach to cash. I've been in South Africa for 10 days, and to be honest, I haven't touched the money, the cash, through the whole 10 days. So I don't know even how the cash in South Africa looks like, because in majority of places they were asking to pay with card or contact or use the mobile to pay. But I also visited Bulgaria, and this is a completely different country in this area. So they like cash, and they are also using a lot of plastic cards. It's also related to the market, so there are only few banks, and the contactless payments are not so popular because the competition is low. So maybe they are not investing so much money and so much time to develop those methods. So I would say it depends on the country, but on the other hand, I think the trend is obvious. We'll move from the cash payments to the contactless payments sooner or later, and also I think the issue here, which is being raised from time to time, is the privacy of payments. But the privacy of payments, I think that the governments and the tax authorities help us to solve, because they set the lower and lower limits of cash transactions. So sooner or later, I think that the limit for cash transaction will be so low that then we would have to ask ourselves the question, if it's really for our daily banking transaction so crucial to be able to pay in cash, since you have to pay every transaction over, I don't know, €1,000 by card or by transfer, using the transfer. So as I said, the trend is obvious, and I think we are going in the same direction. It doesn't matter where we are.
Well, to some extent I agree, but let's ask a question. Is it good or bad? Because having in mind the lowered transaction limits, right, that you just talked about, some people are concerned about the privacy, like, protection of our rights and so on and so forth, that, it's done for a purpose. So how would you say the mobile transactions are protected? And on the other hand, of course, there's kind of a dilemma, right? Because, like, fighting the terrorism and preventing the fraud and money laundering, which is okay, but on the other, we must admit that it is sort of an ingression into our privacy, isn't it?
Of course it is, but you share a lot of your data using your phone. So we agree to some extent to share this data because of security reasons. On the other hand, thanks to using such tools, you secure your transactions, yes? It is much more safe to pay using your card when you are buying something which is more expensive than the usual thing that you buy every day. Because if anything happens, you can claim and ask for help your bank or that organization that issued this card. So from my perspective, it's better to secure the transactions from your side than to stick very strictly to your privacy. Of course, if you need to pay for something with cash, that's fine for me, but the majority of transactions will be done without cash, sooner or later.
Now, if we are taking this short walk in the middle of Warsaw, just the situation that came to my mind is, for instance, I'm in the middle of the city, my phone's dead, broke down, and I don't have any cash on me. What to do then? Like, do I have any other possibilities to use my money? Because I cannot charge my phone, I cannot access my bank account because it's two-factor authentication. Do banks provide any sort of emergency resolution in this regard?
Okay, so we always have to make sure that we can check your identity and to protect your money. So this is the first. But of course, we have some backup solutions because it happens. I don't know, I cannot explain everything to you because this is also about the security. But I can assure you that as a bank, we are responsible and we have always some solution to solve such problem.
According to latest statistics, the number of BLIK transactions in Poland has surpassed, and the way has surpassed, those of card payments. What do you think about this tendency and also about the safety of BLIK solutions? Because we need to use the code and stuff, and how would you comment on that?
I would say that it wasn't a surprise for anybody because BLIK is much more convenient than the traditional cards, and people are just switching to the most convenient method. For me, this is the most convenient and very secure method. Yes, you use one-time code, and there are many reasons why we use it. You can also use it in a browser, so you don't have to copy the code each time, so it is even more convenient. And switching from any other method gives you the impression and the experience that you are doing this at once. So I think that BLIK is about paying at once.
Is BLIK reliable enough?
Yes, for sure. You can check in other countries, check the twin in Switzerland and the other copies of the BLIK approach. So I think it's the best method of payments now.
At least, does more automation lead to fewer leaks?
Yes, for sure, because majority of mistakes are being done by humans, unfortunately. So the more we automatize the processes, the more risk we mitigate. So for sure, yes.
Absolutely. Let's agree to agree here. And Ernest, thank you so much for such an insightful conversation. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much, Krzysztof.